Good evening, all of you present here. The topic for today's discussion is The Walrus and the Carpenter, written by Lewis Carroll. He's a British writer, and in this poem, the poet has used three important characters: Walrus, Carpenter, and Oysters. So the major characters themselves, or the title of the poem. So by seeing this picture, we can understand the Walrus and the Carpenter. They were walking on the seashore. Something they are doing. They are walking and talking along the seashore. And what is the relation between these two characters? That is a question that arises in the reader's mind. Especially this sea animal we can see in Arctic and Antarctic Ocean, and the carpenter. While the poet has used these two characters here, let us see and see. Let us write and see, and read and find out what is the relation between these two characters. Why the poet has used these two characters here. So first of all, we'll discuss few points about the poet Lewis Carroll. He's a British writer, and he used this name. Lewis Carroll is a pseudonym, uh, but his actual name is Charles Lutwidge Dodson. That is a real name of the mathematician. He used this Lewis Carroll as a pseudonym. Pseudonym, it refers to the false name, maybe pen name. Some of the authors they don't want to reveal their real name when they are writing. So he also used the pseudonym, that is Lewis Carroll. He adopted this name especially when he was writing his famous children's novels and also the nonsense verse. And he's son of a great parson. Who is a parson? Parson is a person who works in the church and who preaches from the Bible. And he was born and brought up in a very large family, and he enjoyed a lot when he was staying along with his family, the relationship between the family members. And the whole family, they involved themselves in composing magazines and publishing the articles. Means they're very much interested in composing poems, and they published in magazines, and also they performed some of the plays. So this was his child experience. So that was the base for his wonderful work of art that he created in the later part of his life. In the year 1851, he went to a church called the Dischrist Church in Oxford, and he started his career as a lecturer in mathematics in the year 1855 because he loves mathematics. So that is his very favorite subject. Also, he is very much interested in solving puzzles, and he was very much enjoyed in involving himself in playing games as well as solving the puzzles. And so that made him towards a great achievement in his life. Okay, so also he was very much interested in paradox and nonsense verse, and he's very fond of small children also. So for their sake, he started writing some articles related with the children, and finally that led him to uh, write a very great masterpiece, that is Alice Adventures in Wonderland in the year 1865. And some of his other important works that includes Phantasmagoria and other poems in the year 1869, The Hunting of the Snark in 1876, and Sylvie and Drew in 1889. And Lewis Carroll was an English author. He is best remembered for his novel that is Alice Adventures in Wonderland, and also another book called Through the Looking Glass. So this poem, Walrus and the Carpenter, is an extract from this book, Through the Looking Glass. Apart from this, another important poem, that is Jabberwocky, is also the best loved nonsense verse in English literature. And apart from this, he was also a photographer and inventor. Okay, so this is a very brief introduction about the poet. Let us move on to the stanza. So this poem, it contains 18 stanza and 108 lines, and each stanza has 6 lines, a set of 6 lines, and the poet has followed a particular rhyme scheme in this poem. Okay, so let us read and find out what is hidden in this poem. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. And this was all because it was the middle of the night, And the moon was shining sulkily because she thought the sun had got no business to be there. After the day was done, it's very rude of him, she said, to come and spoil the fun. So, so from this stanza, we can understand the poet started describing about the nature, the sunrise and sunset, and daytime and nighttime, and so it is an extraordinary thing that happens during that time. What is that? The different thing that happened during that time. The sun was shining still on the sky, and because it is the middle of the night, during that time the sun was shining on the seashore. It was bright also at the time. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all its might. It was very powerful, it was very bright during the night time. That is the only thing that happened during that time. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. Here the poet uses the personification technique here. The sun is personified. The sun, the poet was thinking the sun as a person, and he's writing this poem. So the inanimate object is personified here. He refers to the sun. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. So still the sun is working on. And this was odd. This is a very something irrelevant, or it is something different during that midnight time. And because it's a time for the moon to shine that time, but instead of that, the sun was shining very brightly. So, and the poet has used the techniques in this narrative poem. It's a narrative poem also. Walrus and Carpenter is a narrative poem. It narrates some incident, and we can see the themes such as deception, hypocrisy, death, and wisdom in this poem. These four major themes of this poem. So when the poem starts like this, the poet started describing the nature, describing the sun and the moon, the condition of the sun and the moon, and also the walrus and the carpenter. Both of them were walking on the seashore, and they were talking nonsensically. At the time, they were thought of inviting the oysters to come and join with them. And in the initial stage of the poem, they couldn't understand why they were calling, and without knowing that, they also joined hands with the walrus and the carpenter, the oysters, the foolish oysters. Without thinking and rethinking, they joined So I'll stop here.